You at the bottom. There you go. Oh,
There you go.
yep.
What's
Look
going
like in a
on?
little kitty chair.
Welcome to Sideline the Baseline with your host MB and K Lou.
K-Lou.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We got two hoopers, two basketball coaches. Boy, uh two that know the game. Mr. Orlando Early and Coach Jay Ward. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, guys? What's up?
What's up, man?
Man, hey, it's a lot of basketball going on, and the conversation that you guys were just having, I think we should open up with that. And that was a continuation of Monday. We were speaking of I can't think of the name now.
Elite.
Yeah, the Elite League, and they were talking. Let's refresh y'all again. They talking about getting the elite type kids, the kids that we're seeing on Ball is Life and House of Hoops and everything else that we seeing on YouTube. And that's what I wanted to bring into the conversation, guys. I think they'll be able to attract enough kids to at least field about 6 teams based upon what what the demographics now are watching. These kids, it's like we know these kids for real now, but 2 and 3 years before they ever hit the big time, whether that is going to the G League or going to the Kentuckys of the world. We know them, and not just y'all it's y'all business to know. Folks like myself know them just from being a YouTube fan. I'm sitting here and I'm watching them. I remember Zion as a sophomore, y'all, because he was dunking on everybody then. And so I think they're attracted by that. These kids know each other already. The AAU circuit now has shrunk because you got the EYBL and the Under Armour League and Adidas League, all that stuff. Now all of a sudden, all these kids know each other, and I guess the elites looking at it like this: if they can fill all these AAU teams with these kids, why we can't then transition them to playing for money?
Well, I'm going to comment on it first, and Orlando can piggyback because the one thing that you have an expert in this because he's coached both in college and the NBA on a professional level. I've just been in college, but the one thing I do know is I personally think it can hurt the game. I mean, paying kids at 16, 17, 18, there's no way you can actually tell a kid at 16 that he's going to have a chance to be an NBA draft pick 2 years from now, a year from now at 16. And, the good thing about it is, I mean, when you recruit at the highest level and you're recruiting those elite level players, if you know those kids are not coming to school, that's actually a good thing. I mean, meaning that they're going to go straight to the NBA or straight to the pros or try to turn professional. They don't want to go to college. That's actually a good thing because it saves you time in recruiting. However, Orlando is a little more of an expert because he's actually done it from both sides of it. I personally think it hurts the game to do it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree with Jake somewhat. It'll be if they have. First of all, I don't think I agree with you, K. Lou, that they'll have enough guys, and if there are enough guys, then the quality of talent won't be very high.
Right.
Because you're still going to get kids that are going to go to the G League. You're still going to get kids that are going to go to Australia. You're still going to get kids that want to go to the Blue Bloods of the world. So how many of these kids that are McDonald's All-American type kids are going to actually go to the Overseas Elite League? You mentioned seeing these guys and knowing these guys, before they hit the big time. And now I'm just throwing this out here. I have no idea about the music industry, but I'm sure it's thousands of rappers on YouTube and SoundCloud and all that who never make it.
Oh, you're right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But here, this is what I'm going to jump in on. A kid like we all know, probably you guys, I know, Julian Newman, who's a senior, just graduating this year, ended up basically, was a kid sensation, going on talk shows and all that, him and his sister since they were probably like 10 years old. Here we go, fast forward, and he's not wanted by anybody. Nobody wants him. So exactly the situation you're talking about. But he was a YouTube sensation, millions and millions of views and followers. Let's really think about this. They not in it because they care about the kids. They in it for money. And so those 2, 3, 4 million followers, Julian Newman would have been in this elite league already. And that's what I'm talking about. They're gonna find the numbers. I agree with you. The quality won't be what you think it should be. However, Julian Newman shoots the ball 40 times a game, coach. Like, that's selling to these kids. So it's like their audience ain't you. That's the thing.
But K. Lou, two wrongs don't make a right. What I mean by that, two wrongs don't make a right.
I ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying it can work.
Don't mean he's going to be a really good player going forward as a professional, as a pro. So in my opinion, I mean, that situation, two wrongs don't make a right. I think it's very, very hard. In Orlando, you can, like I said, once again, you can chime in. I think it's very hard to identify a kid at the age of 16 and say he's a for sure, NBA guy. He's a for sure big time player in Europe, for sure big time player in Australia. I just think it's hard at that age to identify that. And what these kids are doing, what they're doing, K. Lou, at 16, they make that decision and decide to go. They're taking the opportunity away from going to college, where they probably that's where they will develop at 18, 19, and 20 years old.
And I'm with you, but that's not the point. Like, the point is what they say, MB, in the article, 1 billion impressions with the elite group.
I think 1 billion subscribers.
Billion subscribers. That's what time it is. That's
and I think, but I agree with them. That's a tough decision to make, for a kid at the 16 years old to give up 2 years of high school. And then also give up, like, maybe, one and done principal, you're going to give up college for just a year, to go, okay, I'm going to go pro. That's tough, Y'all
keep looking at it from the wrong perspective. You're looking at it like I'm saying it's the right thing to do.
I'm looking at it from a kid. I'm looking at it from a kid saying, like, okay, do I want to forfeit high school, my 2 years remaining in high school? Do I want to forfeit going to Duke for 1 year, right? For $100K. Yes. And then it's like, if I don't make it, then they're going to give me another $100K for education. I don't know. I think every situation is different, but I think some kids, they dream of, like, okay, I'm going to go to, it's already a tough decision right now for kids to say, okay, I'm going to give up going to college one and done and go to the G League right now, or I may go overseas and pull a ball. So that's a tough decision. You see only very few of them will make that decision. Now you rewind it 2 years earlier, and that to me become even a tougher decision for him.
Hey, Lou, let me tell you something.
These are celebrities immediately. Like, they're celebrities in the 10th grade.
Hey, Lou,
Amani Bates. I'm throwing out the name. Amani Bates. What do you guys know about him?
Let me throw this out too, K. Lou. Just a little bit more about this league, and so get a bigger picture, because this answered my question. So OTA will operate out of one city, which be announced at a later date, and will consist of 30 total players from across the world. So that the number is 30 from across the world now. So just not America, right? The team will play not only against each other, but against competition from American prep school and other countries. So I guess they'll play prep schools in other countries. And the total number of teams that will make up the league and how roster will be constructed was not yet disclosed,
Well, MB, I think, and Jake, you may have to help me on this. It's been a while for me since college, but I'm not sure if they can play against a prep school team if they're being paid.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was brought that up last time too, but that's what they're saying. I was like, how can you play?
I think they can. Schools like Mount Verde Academy, who don't compete, like Mount Verde can't compete in anything state of Florida sanctioned. But they can play in that
national championship.
Right, for that national prep school national championship, because they recruit and they essentially play players.
Hey, let me add this too. Here's the other benefit. Each player will learn at least $100,000 guaranteed for the season. The league also plan to compensate players through bonuses, equity, and overtime revenue from a player's name, image, and likeness. Right. The latter, the NC issue is currently being discussed, along with full health care benefits. OTE will also offer to $100,000 for players to use towards college tuition in the event of a player doesn't go on to play in an NBA or other professional league. In lieu of the traditional high school curriculum, the league will offer an academic program that it says will focus on financial literacy, media training, and social justice advocate, according to the news release. So that's the other stuff, you know.
On one hand, I think the league is good from this standpoint. There's a lot of kids out there that hate school, don't want to go to school, and that might be a good league for them. However, I will tell you this: I will caution you from this standpoint with that league in Orlando. You can jump on this once again. How many times when you were back in college, just put your thinking cap on, where you guys put a recruiting board together of 10th graders, and it might be 50 kids on there. And by the time they become seniors, that board goes to 8.
Yeah,
the kids aren't good enough. They kind of dwindle off.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be no different. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to make a decision as a 16-year-old to make that decision. And basically, you can ruin your career if you're not good enough at that point. You can't go back to college, and all they say they're going to give you $100,000 to go to school, which is, I guess, is great. The league is going to end up losing in that one. I think the league. They're going to waste a lot of money on that one.
K. Lou, and how does it say in the article? How is the league going to make money?
Oh, well, that's what K. Lou talking about, because they already got the subscribers and stuff.
Exactly.
And this is, I guess, through their whole platform and what they have right now. This is a big media company, I guess. Orlando. They got these subscribers and all this stuff like that. And because this is Drake involved with it, the guy from Amazon, the founder of Amazon. So they got Carmelo Anthony, a lot of NBA players invested into it as well. I think they raised over $80 million towards this project, towards this league, if I'm not mistaken.
Listen, you guys gotta tap in to these little small, and you think they're small, but they're huge. These videos on YouTube with these elite kids. Overtime is behind a lot of them. And just so I picked out Julian Newman, he's local, but he's worldwide when it comes to his fame. He has his own talk show through YouTube. He's getting 1 million views an episode. This is a kid, and this kid's been doing it for the last 3 years. Yeah. If you can put together kids like this who aren't NBA guys, that's what I'm telling you. I don't even, in their mind, they NBA guys, but these guys have no chance. But that's what I'm saying. It's almost like a reality show,
right?
Of top internet sensation,
right?
Look, Jake Logan right now killing boxing. Him and his brother killing boxing, right? They getting chances dudes done retired and never got, and they getting it in first fights, bro. This is where we are right now, and so for me, this is a no-brainer. If I'm a kid, I'm a kid like some of the kids that I'm thinking about that have no chance. I'm in this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's based on the kid, but for me, it's all based on your circumstances. Because financially, you could be from a project and you ain't got no money. You got it. Yeah, hey, let's go get it. Take that chance. But for most kids, it's just not about the money and exposure. It's that's a tough decision, based on what's important to you. I guess that's what it is.
Way more internet sensations than it is true basketball guys like they're talking about.
No, I think
that's what I'm saying. They need the followers. These kids won't even be making this team based on their talent all the time. I'm telling you that right now. They're gonna look at their personal subscriber list, just like the rappers, Orlando, that you was talking about earlier. Now these rappers already got to come with their fan base before they get a deal. Right. So it's the same situation, and for me, I just see it as a no-brainer based upon I follow these kids. You know what I'm saying? As far as through YouTube and watching them grow and come up and be. Amani Bates was the #1 player in the country as a darn 10th grader.
Okay, Lou, what you're saying makes a ton of sense from a basketball perspective. It's just, those kids. It'll be tough for those kids to make it, and it'll be hard for like Jake mentioned. At 16 years old, you know, whether he's a pro or not. But I understand with your business model, and maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know the owners of the league, so I don't know exactly what their goal is, but it makes sense.
And let's face it, MB. This thing now, the internet has shrunk. Now we're a neighborhood again, just through the internet. So all they got to do is get one or two to make it, and all of a sudden, everybody from the league making it. You know what I mean?
I'm from a business standpoint, I'm good with that. I guess I'm putting myself in the shoes of the kid, right? And every kid situation is different. Like I said, you got a kid who maybe not financially strapped. They're like, man, I always had a dream to play at Duke or North Carolina. Then that's a tough decision for him. It's basically what's important. Just because, like, what's the number one? What's the dude right now that got a lot of followers? What's his name? The guy on YouTube's a guy. Say he's gonna go to HBCU, Mikey Mo or something like that.
Mikey Williams.
Yeah, Mikey Williams, right? So he got a lot of followers and stuff. So he may not be enticed by the money, or he may say, man, you know, I really want to go to college for 1 year, so I'm gonna give up that, you know. So I'm not gonna sacrifice my rest of my high school for that. I don't need that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm putting myself in that shoe, and I say for money, every kid's situation gonna be different. And some kids, but I don't think it's going to be driven just because they got a lot of followers. I think it's going to be driven by what's important to them. Someone may be important. I got to get that cheese. I got to get that 100,000. I want it, right? Some may be like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna wait. You know, I want to really go to college for 1 year. Some be like, man, I don't want to go that route too early. I don't know. Every situation is different. I guess that's what I'm saying. You know.
And you got a kid like Jalen Green right now that's obviously in the G League, right?
Yeah.
Guess who's following him? The same, this overtime. The same people that's been following him since he got in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
LeBron kids, they're on them already. You know, these same little, you know, all the different little video hype people that's putting these videos together. Like, they on these kids. Like, I know LeBron kids. I feel like I know if they can play or not. That's
right.
It's crazy.
No, I agree with that. From a company standpoint, they own and they trying to get exposed. They trying to find the next big star. It's like American Idol, you know, and they can offer kid, hey, I can give you exposure. I got $1 billion followers. You get a name. You know, you can create your brand. You know, all the kids trying to. That's what you know. They all trying to get that. You know,
one of you guys made the point. I'm sorry, Mike.
Go ahead, Orlando.
One of you guys made the point like a reality show. And that's what I'm seeing. It's gonna be
exactly. That's what it is.
see, I'm talking to two serious basketball minds, and I'm trying to take y'all off of that.
Oh no, okay. Look, I'm saying for me, I think from the media standpoint, exposure standpoint, yeah, you can see that every day, all day. It's increased the followers and all that. I'm just saying it's just to everybody it'll be a personal decision, but you know, but you gotta. With 30 around the world, then now that opened my eyes. And if they can play prep school and they can play teams around the world, I mean, you know, I can see them getting it done, you know?
Well, look, from overtime, baby, in high school and college, now we going to the NBA. Listen, the Western Conference playoff picture look good as I don't know what. My Lakers going to end up in the play-in or number 6 or possibly number 5. But none of that matter to me, because I know who's gonna be hoisting up the trophy again by the end of this, baby. Coach Moore, what say you, baby? What you got? What you got on the Western Conference playoff picture?
Who's that? Did you ask me, Caleb?
I said Moore.
Oh, okay.
You want? Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Caleb. I wouldn't discount Phoenix, my man. I know you love those Lakers. Phoenix is looking really, really tight right about now. I would not discount those Suns. And, you know, hey, Mike, you know we got to support our boys, our brothers from the U.
Yeah.
Jones doing a heck of a job out there with that.
Yeah, I think the Suns are playing well. You know, the interesting thing, guys, and I would say for at least 2 months, the Utah Jazz has had the best record in basketball, and nobody ever talks about it.
Yep. Right.
They just continually win and play the game the right way. And the deal with them is they don't overwhelm you with talent. So if Donovan has to be healthy, Mike Conley has to be totally healthy. If those guys are, they're gonna be tough to beat. And I will say this, man, at the end of the day, it's hard to bet against LeBron James and everything.
I'm with that too. I'm with that too.
Well, hey, I want to finish Ace so bad for that great speech you just gave, and then so we can show you what all that mean you just talked about.
Your wish might be granted to you.
What'd you say, Coach Moore?
I said your wish they might finish 8th. Your wish might be granted.
Yeah, it don't matter to me, man. I just need a cent.
I'm like Coach Early though. You can't discount LeBron. LeBron is the king. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
he's proven it over and over and over again. You'd be a fool to bet against him. However, it's just like you said, the Utahs of the world, the Phoenixes of the world. I mean, there's some teams in the Western Division that play really, really good basketball. And if LA is kind of limping in there,
right?
And that's kind of the issue. Is they're kind of limping along it. They're kind of limping into that playoff scene, which is not a great thing to be doing at this point in time.
Right. And the thing about it, the saving graces seem like a lot of other teams are limping. You mentioned about the Jazz. The Jazz are limping. The Nuggets are limping. Right.
Yeah.
Who else? The Clippers. They limp, and then they on their time management with.
They all on limp.
It's the combination, but it seemed like a lot of them are limping, and you're right. Whoever get healthy at this time start or have the best chance, but it's hard to bet against the Lakers.
Guys, you gotta understand, man. These guys' bodies with the difference in how late they played last year.
Right, 71 days.
Yeah, it's tough on these guys, and then the grind of the COVID. Getting tested every single day and going through that mental grind. It's been a tough year.
I know it's still the seeding is going to be settled and all that, but any predictions for the Western Conference Final? Which two teams you would like to see if they was playing opposite of one another? Who would you like to see,
Well, I think I would like to see So first of all, I'm gonna be a little biased to say I just enjoy watching LeBron play. So I'd like to see him in the finals, and then I would like to see a LeBron Utah Jazz Western Conference. I'd like to see that style of basketball against a LeBron-led, more individual talented team style basketball game. But before that, somehow I would like to see the Suns and the Clippers play because Chris Paul don't like none of them dudes. So that'll be a heck of a series.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I know you ain't asking me, but I would love to see Lakers Clippers. What y'all wanted last year, we gonna get that to y'all again. After that, it don't matter who we play.
Yeah. Jay, who you think is better suited if the Lakers are full strength? Who you think is the best team to give them the toughest challenge if both teams at full power?
I think the Lakers is by far the best team.
No, I'm saying who you think who's the second best team? You agree? Yeah.
In the West.
Obviously, it's kind of what Coach Early said, style of play with Utah and how they play the game. But I would love to see the Phoenix Suns. I mean, I think Phoenix had a heck of a year. And once again, I'm going to pull for my brother, James Jones. He's done a heck of a job. I don't think they got enough to beat the Lakers, but I would love to see them get to that point to just challenge them, give them a little scared.
Well, what about this? What about, say, if the Lakers fall into play-in, do Golden State Warriors got enough to beat them for one game?
No.
You're like, no.
I agree. I don't think they can beat them just one game.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I just thought I'd ask.
What do you think, K-Lou? You gonna get your man coaching? You get your man Steve Kerr coaching the team? Is it Steve Kerr?
Look, I tell you what, they got a chance of beating us because Draymond is by far the greatest defensive player to ever play in the NBA. So he gonna lock down LeBron, of course. Then when LeBron sub out, he gonna lock down AD. You know what I mean? So
that's only going to take place in the Space Jam movie, not.
Exactly.
So as long as he balling like that, they got a chance. So moving
Yeah.
right along to the East, guys. This thing is I thought there was a lot of talent in the West when you look at it, but the East, man, is getting tougher and tougher for me to start figuring out who's gonna win it. Because I mean, the Heat has turned it on of
Get hot
late,
heat, baby.
and I thought they were out of it. The Brooklyn Nets ain't looking like a for sure right now. And I think more than anything, those guys need to be playing together way more than they're not.
Well, they about to play together this week for the first, I guess, the 8th time of the season. They about to play.
Right, because they keep forgetting the Clippers tried this, it didn't work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know the thing I love about the East. If you go back and rewind and listen to all the commentary and all the experts talk about what took place in New York, this great super team that Brooklyn put together and how the Knicks were done. The Knicks had no shot. The Knicks are the team right now, and in New York, the Knicks look pretty dang good in terms of, if you want to compare teams out of New York. I like the Knicks. I think the Knicks can beat Brooklyn right now.
No, in a game.
Yeah, I will say this. Brooklyn in the NBA, in college, obviously, the NCAA tournament, it's one game. And so anybody can really beat somebody in one game.
Right.
In the NBA, it's a series, and it's really hard to beat the more talented team in a series. So, I think Brooklyn will be there when it's all said and done. I don't know if they'll win it because, guys, I like Doc Rivers. Like Doc Rivers' pedigree, his background, he's got Philadelphia playing really good.
Right.
Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons is one of the better defensive players in the league. I mean,
absolutely.
Transform that guy's game. I mean, Doc is doing a hell of a job over there. So I wouldn't count them out.
Right.
Orlando, I got a question for you, an NBA question.
Yes.
I know you've been in these boardrooms, you guys been putting these teams together. Explain to me, how is it that when you're putting together a team, I mean, case in point, last year with the Clippers, and you put so much money into, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, aren't they the same player, same position?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay. I mean, the question: Are they both wings, kind of wing players?
Yeah. So what they're doing now in the NBA, and it's kind of more from a European style of basketball, is going to positionless basketball. Let's put 5 best players out there. And play.
Yeah. All right.
So that's the mindset with it now.
But here's my other question. So now let's flip it to this year's super team, the Brooklyn Nets. What position is James Harden?
Point now.
Right?
Point
guard. I mean, the two, they like him at the
point. Yeah, he's a point.
3.
Like at the point, right? So you know what I'm going with this. Isn't Kyrie a point?
He playing 2.
So now we're back to, now you got 2 of your best players are the same player.
Yeah, but again, the way that they're looking at it in that room, when you sit in that room, is it's not about positions.
Right.
It's the 5 best players. Like Jake, I'll tell you this: when you were growing up,
right,
and you went out to the park and you played pickup, and you picked your team, you wasn't trying to pick a center, a point guard, a wing, and a
right.
You picked the 5 best guys out there, and you went to play.
Right.
That's kind of what this is morphed into.
But the only difference with playing pickup basketball and playing basketball under the whistle is you got plays, you got set spacing. When you're in a pickup game, you get your 5 best players. It might be 5 centers, but I don't know how that translates when you start getting to that whistle with organized ball plays, schemes, defensive schemes, offensive schemes, and you got a bunch of the same dudes.
Well, you're right there in a sense, but they're also betting on these guys. These guys are pros in their IQ level and them understanding where I need to be on the floor at this particular time. Like, the Houston Rockets, I mean, they went out there with, I don't think they had a guy over 6'6" at one point.
Right. Small ball. Yeah.
That's an analytic-driven decision.
Right.
So,
Is it like football in regards? You know how like especially in college football, high school as well, you run the spread everybody running the spread offense pretty predominantly, and so is it like that in the sense of everybody's like spread offense offensively, where it's like positionless, where you get away with the smaller non-traditional center, and then now with Steph Curry and the Golden State, as far as airing the ball out, spraying the ball out, it seemed like it's more that type of ball, correct?
Yes, and the word you use, spread, they want to spread the floor.
Right.
They want a lot of spacing, penetrate, one-on-one play to where, and if you help, they have shooters that are spotted up to make shots, and that's kind of what everybody's going to. And
but Atlanta, so it gets back to my point. Why are we modeling ourselves from the NBA, which is the best league in the world? Why are we modeling ourselves after an inferior league, which is Europe? Europe is inferior to the NBA, but yet and still we're modeling ourselves after Europe.
Because the analytics took over.
The Europeans are less athletic, less skilled, less a lot of things. And we're
I don't know about less skilled.
Well, I mean, we talk about
the less athletic part.
Hey, I played in Europe for 7 years. The bigs are much more skilled than our bigs, but they soft. Okay. They don't play around the basket. They don't do nothing. I mean, traditional basketball, you get big guys that play inside. You pound people. Analytically, I would think a layup is an easier shot to make than a three. The thing that really bothers me about the NBA right now is they're modeling themselves after a league that is not as good as their league.
Jake, let me ask you this question, and you know more about it than me. Is it the European League, or is it Golden State Warriors?
Absolutely, MB. There you go. That's what happened.
Because I think it's more Golden State, and then the type of players you're getting.
No, I think Golden State has a huge influence on this. And Orlando can answer this a little better than me, but I think the European influence has been huge. They've hired coaches now from Europe to work in the NBA. I mean, David Blatt, he's American, but I played for David Blatt. He's American, born. However, his whole career was in Europe. His philosophy, but the bottom line, David Blatt's philosophy is nothing more than Princeton. Go to college and learn how the college players are playing. You don't got to go to Europe. I mean, they're bringing guys back over here to coach the game because of this European style of play. I don't get it.
Yeah, so Mike, I agree with what you're saying, but Golden State were the first to adapt the European style and shoot. And now when they made it successful, then everybody really jumped on board. I mean, I'm sure it's like this in football. It's a copycat.
Yeah, copycat league. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you win, and then a lot of people try to copy what New England to do, that's why you see a lot of disciples. And that's why I was thinking with Golden State, especially he came from Popovich, and Popovich at the time had 2 European players, right? On the team, right? And then now so Steve Kerr take that offense and take the triangle offense that Phil, what's his name, ran, right? And Phil Jackson, and they'll mess it together. And then now you got Stephen Curry shooting from half court, the Splash Brothers, so it just opened things up. So it's like a perfect storm. That's what I thought more so,
Now also piggyback off of you, Orlando. I watched Earl Watson get interviewed a couple months back, and he just straight up admitted that they came in the room with him and said, "Hey, we need an extra 23s a game." And he said he looked at his roster and he said, "Okay, I got Devin Booker that could shoot 10 a game. Where the other 20 coming from?" And so he was like, "Oh, y'all trying to get us in the lottery pick." You know what I mean? And so what you said about analytics plays a big part, because that's who came to him with that.
Yes, no question. It's driving the league and everything that you do, every aspect of it. But here's what's interesting to me. Guys get into the league because of their analytic background. But once their foot get in the door, then they want to talk basketball. I thought you weren't a basketball guy. You're an analytic guy. But then they want to talk basketball. So, but yeah, it's analytic driven.
Wow. So moving right to the East, we talked about, y'all being a fan, or you, Orlando, being a fan of Doc Rivers. is Milwaukee still a candidate or a contender, man, for this MVP? I mean, excuse me, for this finals championship.
Yeah,
Like we're not even talking about the Greek Freak no more, man. What happened?
yeah. I think they're still a contender. Obviously because they have him, but man, they lost a lot of toughness when they traded Bledsoe.
Right.
To me, they don't have a lot of toughness, a lot of grit to them, and I think that's hurt them.
Yeah, they're not. They're a softball tough. Softball.
Wow.
Hey, LB had a college coach, D-line coach. I walked into the room one time, LB, and he going over the game film. And I sat down, I say, man, what's this? SOC. LB, softball contact, baby. So that's what y'all made me just think that when y'all
Soft like Charmin.
softball contact. LB, the Joker made the play, but he was softball contact.
Wow.
He got a minus for that play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Softball. Well, I know you guys got to go in a minute. So, Orlando, I know you're the Sixers. You're saying out of the East. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I
Jake,
think I'm going with the Sixers out of the East.
Who you got, Jake, coming out the East?
With my heart, or who I think? I'm gonna give you two picks. With my heart, I'm gonna go with the Washington Wizards. That's my team.
Okay.
That's hard. That's hard.
Y'all gonna make the play in.
Yeah, I said with my heart, I'm gonna go with the Wizards. With my mind, I'm gonna go with Brooklyn. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Orlando. Talent wins in the NBA, so I'm gonna go with Brooklyn.
Okay. And then who's your NBA Finals, man? Who's y'all prediction?
Brooklyn Lakers.
I would say Utah and
big one.
Boy, there he go. There he go.
Utah and who, Orlando?
Why I can't wait.
Philly.
Hey,
Utah,
just for that, Orlando, we finish at 8th, baby. we gonna get that over.
You on the phone as soon as you get off this phone, okay, Lou? LeBron, don't play. Let us finish 8th. Don't play.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. If now Utah has to come in healthy. Everybody has to be healthy. But if they get there, I can see them making the finals.
Okay, man. Listen, come on, man. Quinn Snyder, all right, because we taught him everything he know at Duke. So I give him a shout out for that, but that's where it starts and ends right there. Hey, this MVP race, man. Steph Curry is going bonkers. I think almost 32 points, 31.8, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds and 6 assists, basically. Is he the MVP this year?
I don't think so. And listen, he's having a heck of a year. You just read off the stats. He having an unbelievable year. But the guy in Denver, the Joker
ain't no joke.
It's been unbelievable. I mean, what he's doing is amazing, man. It's amazing what he's doing.
Okay, Lou, you know I'm going to hometown. You can't discredit triple double. You can't discredit triple double for MVP. Mr. Walking triple double.
Right.
How you gonna discredit him?
I didn't. I just said because listen, this NBA loves them some Curry. So I just put it out there.
No,
y'all
Curry's
already know.
legit. And Curry's gonna probably end up leading the league in scoring. But like I said, I'm going.
No, Bradley Beal, like he just overtook him with a 49-point game.
Oh, Bradley Beal. Okay, he did. I know.
Bradley Beal been leading all year. Steph just jumped over him.
Yeah, I think it's like a 0.5 difference.
Yeah,
something like that.
they're right.
I think Steph's gonna win the scoring title. I really do. Not MVP. I think he's gonna win the scoring title this year.
So who's your vote for the MVP, Jake?
That's a tough one. It's been a lot of good ones this year.
Yeah.
Damn. I'm going walking triple double. Down in DC. I'm going walking triple.
Russell Westbrook.
Really?
Hey, Lou, if I was really going my heart, I'd say Beal for the scoring title, walking triple for the MVP.
He going hometown cooking, baby.
Hometown backcourt, bring it all home, baby.
Yeah. Well, then that means KD involved too, huh? What did comeback player of the year, Kevin Durant?
No, he got him winning the title.
Listen, I said,
Oh.
hey, K. Lou, I said I'm talking my heart, not my head right now.
Oh. So Orlando like the Joker. Jake, you all in DC?
Yeah, I'm straight in DC, man. I ain't going.
And y'all know I'm out of LA. If LeBron wouldn't have got hurt, we would have had this in the bag.
Yep.
All right, fellas. I know you guys got to go, man. We appreciate it, man. We got to get you guys back on, man.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's always fun talking with you guys.
Yep.
Thank you guys for coming on, man. I appreciate it, man.
All
right. See you later.
All right, y'all take care.
Man,
so yeah, okay, Lou, who's your pick for who you got for the MVP?
So I was more upset about this. I just wanted to argue about the MVP. Because LeBron not. So he's out by default. He's injured. You can't miss that many games. The Joker, there's just been a lot more put on his plate. Let's be honest. I don't necessarily. I do. I'm a Joker fan. Denver is my number 2 team. But like, if you look at it, he's a result of the circumstances. Jamal Murray's gone. He had to take more shots. He has to become more involved. Like, yes, he's answering the call, but I guess you gotta look. Steph Curry is being lights out. Draymond done crowned him MVP already. I'm gonna be honest with you. If Steph involved, I like what Bradley Beal's doing, man. And I hate to go there because obviously you're talking about 2 teams at the bottom of the barrel when it looks at their division, 2 teams that are fighting just to make the playoffs. And we're talking about MVPs being around that. But this year has been so crazy and plagued with injuries. And like a top team like Utah doesn't have a clear guy in the running. Then you had Joel Embiid in a situation at one point where he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna crown him. Then he falls off. Like, it's just crazy because you're looking for one of those top tier teams. Lakers couldn't stay healthy, or I think it's clear that LeBron's the guy, or even AD if he wasn't hurt. But man, it's just tough. I'd go with Bradley Beal before I went with Steph Curry. He's doing a lot more with less.
Yeah, I agree with you in a sense. It's just like we talked about how injury is going to possibly affect the playoff, especially in the Western Conference. Well, it affect the playoff in period as far as development of the team. You look at a lot of the top teams from the Brooklyn Nets to the Lakers, right? Then battling with injuries. But in the MVP race is no different. I think I disagree with this standpoint. Before the Joker, he's the one that's consistently been playing, at a high level and been healthy, high level and healthy. Let me put those 2 right. And so even before Jamal went down, he was playing at a high level, right? But it wasn't to that exceptional level as those other guys like Joe Embiid and at one time, then LeBron at one time, then James Harden, right? At one time. It's like watching a horse race, right? And then now you got Stephen Curry, Brandon Bills, leading the league in scoring. And then he got hurt a little bit, right? At one point, because they was talking about getting traded. He got hurt. And so then Westbrook, he started off real slow, and now he found the second win and rejuvenate his career. So through it all, I think by default, it's like the tortoise versus the rabbit. Is that Joker was kind of like the turtle, and he's been consistent the whole time. Now, even with Jamal now being out, then now that put the spotlight on him even more. So I think based on what all the stuff I've seen, not like I watched all those games, but he's the one that's consistently day in, day out. He's been the one that's been consistent, playing at a high level, and he's been healthy. And so I think it's hard. I was listening to somebody say because some people say the next person, the closest person to him is Joe Embiid, but it's hard to get Joe Embiid the crown him the thing because he's been hurt. and he missed like 4th of the season.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's with me. I think it's the Joker, and it's just because the tortoise in the hare. He's just been consistent and he's been day in day out. And I mean, Joker's the stuff that he does bring to the table. He's like passing, with scoring, with rebounding. I mean, other than not playing top quality defense, he's the guy.
Right.
And then another name that people sleep on, K. Lou, is Chris Paul.
Right. And
You
it's because and let's go ahead and fight with this.
Yeah.
But it's because nobody still feels like Steve Nash should have won it either year, and he won it back to back. And so that's who they keep every time Chris Paul name comes up. That's their argument. Well, he's only averaging 15, I think it is, and be 15 or 16 points. And they're like, well, Steve Nash only argued. You know what I'm saying? So they go back to Steve Nash, and they looking at the totality of his work, and they're putting the team success as his personal success. And that's an interesting look and the way to do it. But Steve Nash, I think, beat Kobe one year and Shaq the next. And Shaq still talks about that every chance he get, that they robbed him of his MVP. And I think, to be honest with you, that's the fight that Chris Paul is going up against.
Yeah, and I heard that, and I think to add to that, I also think some people will argue that he's not even the best player on the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other argument that he gets, because it's different styles of play, because Devin Booker, he's the one that's shooting the ball up, and they look at him as the shooting, but obviously the Chris Paul effect everywhere, every team that he's a part of, he just take them to the next level where they win, to some degree. That's the thing, So that's the other argument that I'm hearing as well.
And guess what? Steve Nash won it 2 years in the same predicament. Amari Stoudemire was the best player on his team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't even get. Watch this, MB. Just like Devin Booker didn't even get mentioned.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like, they're not even taking that conversation anywhere that direction, just like they did at the time with Amari Stoudemire. So they mirror each other. The people who are supporting and talking against it are actually using Steve Nash as the example.
Yeah, no doubt.
So the NBA, MB, and I would have loved to talk to Orlando, get his opinion on this, continues to be ahead of the curve with that the ball league, baby. The Basketball African League, man. Hey, look, this is the Basketball Africa League. The NBA is now going to be in Africa. They're bringing players though from Africa and Europe and a couple other countries, I think the article said. But the bottom line is the NBA has done a tremendous job of creating a recruiting base in Europe. Now we're looking for the next, Tony Kukoc. Then we, looking for the next Petra Stojakovic. Boy, ain't I'm going back.
Yeah, you are, boy. Good Lord.
Hey, and then now we looking for the next Joker. We looking for the next the guy that's in Dallas right now.
Luka.
Yeah, Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? And so now, like, honestly, we like we used to look at European names, like another bus, y'all wasted y'all time. Now we look at them like, this boy probably can play. And even, was it you and Orlando talking about a guy they're talking about in Europe right now? Oh, no. I heard this is a different conversation. Okay. I heard actually at the barbershop this morning, MB, they were talking about a European guy that's supposed to be like Sabonis, a mix of Sabonis and Joker. That's supposed to be a lottery pick. So now, it's a fertile recruiting base, and we're looking for at least 2 guys to make a difference in the NBA every year coming out of there. Well, you may laugh or you may think, oh, they wasting their time. Well, they shucks. They gonna create a fertile environment over there in Africa, and before you know it, we gonna be getting 1 or 2 guys out of that off of the continent of Africa as well. So that's how I look at that, LB.
Yeah, and no doubt. And then I think also from a standpoint, it's about building the NBA brand as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so just the fact that the thing that you sent me the article is saying how, like you alluded to this earlier, like from each team in those countries, they're gonna have at least got to have a player from that team from that
Right.
area. You know, and I think that's positive. But then NBA, you know, I just think about like I was in Houston at the time, and when you had Yao Ming, and then you know you had them, you know, back in the day, you know, bringing basketball over there to China, you know, and him being the ambassador, you know, and then like even Kobe Bryant, you know, passed away, and he going over on journeys over there as far as China and stuff like that, and what's my man Marbury? I think they got playing over there, so it's
in
also
China.
yeah in China, and so it's just to me it's just going to the motherland and building that brand and turn over no stone. That farm system now is just going all across the globe, you know, and like you say, number one, finding players, potential players, and then also that league is also guys that had previous, it's like a G League, guys that had previous NBA experience and stuff be on there, getting dudes another opportunity to play in another different league, and then like NBA, man, building that brand, man, I think is win-win all across the board.
Oh yeah, and I'm just excited about it because again, early on, it ain't gonna make a lot of fuss, but you just watch, you just wait, and you forget there. Dima Olajuwon come from over there. Dikembe Mutombo come from over there.
Yeah,
There, Aminu that's still playing in the league came from there. Couple guys, both guys from that play in Toronto right now. Can't think of either one of their names. They come from there. So it's a fertile ground.
Siakam.
Yeah, Siakam.
Siakam.
It's a fertile ground already. It's just they've always went to other countries to then come here or came directly here for like Taco Fall came directly here to America and then made the transition. Taco actually came here to Orlando. That's another name that I watched him be early on, and we were hearing all about him. And he's still in the league, man. They showed him allegedly doing a dream-like move. He's still hanging on in Boston as well.
Right.
But man, the NBA Hall of Fame is here, and it's gonna be sad and exciting at the same time because Kobe Bean Bryant it's his turn. And man, that's gonna be a sad situation, but exciting as well. And then Tim Duncan as well as Kevin Garnett, the big ticket, MB.
The big ticket, baby.
Well, I mean, has there been a better name in basketball?
The big ticket.
Than the big ticket, MB.
But you got the big ticket, you got the big fundamentals, right? And then you got the Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba, baby. But the big ticket, well, you got to go see him play. I don't care what he's doing. I'm going to go watch him. If y'all calling him the big ticket, I got to go see that happen. So my opinion on these guys, obviously Hall of Famers. None of that situation where you guessing and you saying, man, the Basketball Hall of Fame is weak. He got in. You know what I mean? Like, not one of them conversations with these three. You got Kobe that, you know, again, a generational talent, a transcending talent, a guy who, you know, Michael Jordan just said was tougher than him. Just got that quote, MB. Said he was tougher than him.
Yeah, Michael Jordan presented him too. He's going to present him.
Right. Yeah. Which is only fitting as we find out that through the Last Dance that they had a great relationship.
So
that
and
was
and from the memorial service too, you know.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And then you got Tim Duncan, a guy you didn't know if he hit 40 didn't scope by his facial expression. Like he never changed. He was super consistent and really, man, that luck of that ball that year where they got him and already had David Robinson resurrected his career and really set David Robinson on a path I really believe of being memorable. Because other than that, MB, he was just gonna go down as another great big man that never did it, never won the big one. But they the luck of that ball, because remember, MB, they were a good team already and got that ball to bounce their way in that
I think
lottery.
David Robinson, if I'm mistaken, I think he was hurt. So that's how they ended up being a lottery team.
The year before, okay.
I think he was hurt.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he was hurt, and then that's how they become a lottery team.
And then you could tell after that injury, he was never the same. You know what I'm saying? You could see him completely continue to fall down as far as talent wise, but he made him a household name, Tim Duncan, and then went on ahead and kept winning and did it the European way. Y'all just was talking about it.
Yeah.
That boy got it actually brought two guys from Europe. They helped him get it done. And
Tony Parker and
Ginobili, Manu Ginobili. So I'm sure those two guys will be in attendance, and it'll be interesting to see if Stack 5 show up because
he's presenting.
Oh,
you say who show up? The Admiral?
Steven Jackson. I said.
I thought you said the Admiral. I'm sorry. I thought you said 5-0. I'm thinking the Admiral. Yeah,
Stack 5. So,
Stack 5. I got you.
Yes, Steven Jackson. Because he had a story about both Ginobili and Tony Parker. Yeah, he felt like they had it, that Kawhi thing. They had a lot to do with that Kawhi thing, when Kawhi had to move on. So that'd be interesting to see if he has either one of them on this show, if Tim come over, because I think he said him and Tim have a great relationship, so he may be on the show to talk about it, MB. And then the big ticket. I mean, none of us cared about Minnesota till he went there. And then remember he messed around and got there and was with a young, strong Steph Marbury, baby.
Right.
So they went on a run.
It's funny because you got two guys out of this class at least that went straight out of high school.
Yeah.
Kobe and the big ticket.
Right.
Straight out of high school, and big ticket averaging a double-double, getting it done. Just to playing with passion, man. I mean, just think of those two guys. I know we talk about Tim Duncan, the big fundamentalists, quiet, just reserve. I mean, play, not as passionate those or just monstrous as those other guys, the Black Mamba and the big ticket, I just love the way those two guys, how they express themselves when they play. You know what I'm saying? They let you know. They let you know that, hey, it's on,
Right.
Big ticket. I mean, just the passion he has, the fire, the toughness, man. That joker come ready to play, man. Love that dude, man.
Right. And I think he said he stole this from somebody else, but he made it famous. And that's MB. Remember, it was always customary for when they blow the whistle, a guy driving to the hole, they blow the whistle, they file him. And the guy still sit there and just get a shot off, even though, it's after the whistle and all that. But he's just trying to find his rhythm still.
Right.
And the big ticket will go and throw it out of there. He'll go to, and as defensive guys, we love that. Like,
exactly.
You ain't gonna get nothing. We don't care. When you holding somebody scoreless, MB, and they trying to score at the end of the game. And you still trying to keep him out the end zone. Right. So that's what that put me in that mindset with watching Kevin Garnett play. He played with a football mentality.
Right. Right.
And so that's why I was always a fan.
Yeah, you're right. And it just reminded me like Shaq, because you always think, man, if I was that big and that tall, man, I'll be playing like this. And that's the way Shaq played.
Right,
He
right,
played like how everybody say they will play or think they will play. If you was that big and that size, you'd be just dunking all the time. That's how Shaq
right.
played. And it's no different than the big ticket, man. He played with that defensive, physical mindset that, man, he was like take no prisoner, man. That he was laying it out, man, and it showed, you know. It showed,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? What let me I know 701, I know we gotta go, but what's your thought, man, when we maybe we can say this for another conversation. But I was just thinking with, you know, a lot of talk about the GOAT, you know, and then when you talk about it seemed like it's a two-man race between Jordan and LeBron. I mean, is Kobe in that picture?
He always has been. However, it's almost like it's like now when you get the hard guys like that fight, you know, for Jordan and make LeBron out to be trash because they so want you to believe that there's no way in the world that he could be close to Jordan. It's like it was more of those during the Kobe period. So it was almost not even a conversation. Really, if you think about it, NBA, you know, I'm a Laker. I was a huge Kobe fan. And it was like, you didn't even have these arguments. This is new. This Michael Jordan ain't the best player to ever play. If you really think about it, MB, like this is new. This is a LeBron, Michael Jordan conversation. It was never a Kobe. Now you hear Kobe fans and they'll post on social media, they'll put up, match up the stats and show you how it should be a conversation. But if you think about it, it's just never been one. And
Why not? Why I'm saying, like, in your opinion, why not? Why not Kobe? Because to me, outside looking in, it was like everybody was trying to be like Mike. And from Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, like when they come in, oh, he's just like Michael Jordan, you know? But to me, Kobe was the only one that could be like Mike and imitate Mike and get it done, you know? And
it's sad to say, but I think the fact that he played with him actually eliminated him. Does that make sense?
Who?
That he played with Michael Jordan. And when I say not on the same team.
I mean, he played together. I understand.
Right. But just in the same era, then you're eliminated by default. Just
because you played in the same era.
Right. And it's like, dude, because you know, you gotta think Kobe was young, Mike was winning championships.
Yeah.
Then Kobe got older, he started to win, and then he started to win championships, and then Mike faded off. So it was like they never really got a chance to think about it. The head-to-head matchup NBA they continuously show with Kobe and Mike is an all-star game. An all-star game. And Mike's, that's the game that basically who was that? Trace McGrady, I think. No, Vince Carter gave up his starting spot for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike's washed up. You know, it's the thanks for all the years, Mike all-star game. You know, like he shouldn't even made it. And he made it as because the coaches voted him on, and then Vince Carter made him a starter. You see what I'm saying? So because I think the fact that he played against him eliminated him, because it's like even when they played, it was like, but he couldn't have touched Mike 4 years ago. Like that was still in your mind. And this dude putting in work. Whereas LeBron, we never see it at all. So it's like, man, ain't no way. That dude 6'8", 260, that's a train. He would have ran Mike over. You know,
so
we can talk
it's more speculation, you said?
Yeah, we can talk like that. And we can say if then and all that stuff with Kobe and Mike. Kobe was a young pup and Mike was running everybody over.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I don't know. It just made me think.
In the league in '96, MB, just to make it real.
Yeah. Well, it just made me think about like you always have like the changing of the guards, you know, and so like from a sample when Jordan came in, the stars of the league was Bird and Magic, and then Jordan just, he just took over, So I was thinking with Kobe, like you said, I remember when he first came in, right? He kind of worked his way. He didn't even start his rookie year,
Right.
And he worked his way up. So I was just wondering, like, to the height of Kobe, like why it never, once, it's like once Jordan retired, and because Kobe beat him, whatnot, and he got now he become the crown. Like, why the conversations haven't been geared up like it is with LeBron? But I definitely understand at one point it's a lot of speculation.
And if you look at it, MB, Kobe comes in '96. I remember because I'm like, dang, this dude going to the NBA and I'm going into college. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Mike wins it in '96.
Right.
Kobe's not a rookie in '97. Mike wins it in '97. Kobe started on the Lakers team in '98. Mike wins in '98. You see what I'm saying? So It's like, who? Kobe, who? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think he's fighting against. He got ran over when you think about it. Like when he came in the league, it was Michael Jordan's league, and he was dominating while he was in it. LeBron comes along, and we're what? 4 or 5 years or longer removed from Michael Jordan existence. So
right.
I think that's why I think it's a hard conversation that never really is had.
Right.
And one final thing, MB, we need to holler at this for a second because everybody definitely been ringing this one around. Tim Tebow, a Jacksonville Jaguar. Can he do it?
Oh,
yeah. Can he play tight end? Because it's some people in the world just feel like, man, you can do anything. And let's take out the 8-year remove thing. Let's just even erase that and act like that ain't happened. Because that's a whole nother conversation in itself. And I think you'll agree to that. But moving from quarterback to tight end and being able to just get it done.
Man, he's 33 years old,
Mm-hmm.
And I love Tebow as a person, everything he stands for, but man, it's I don't see how that's being done, Not in this league. You play an H-back or tight end, I figure it'd be an H-back in that system. At best, you turn it back, father the hand of the clock. What's a guy at guy New Orleans Saints, maybe. I don't know. I don't see 33 years old trying to play tight end in this league, man. That's gonna be tough. But if somebody gonna give him a chance or opportunity to do it, which I admire him for the fact he won't get opportunity to try it. It's almost like, and I say this loosely, right? It's almost like you see one of those track stars or something. I remember growing up, Skip Nehemiah, he was the hurdles champs and stuff like that, and he wanted to come out and try out for football from track. Even though Tebow played football, he went from football to baseball, now back to football, but a different position. I don't know. It's gonna be tough, bro. I don't see it. I see what Derek's saying, man. I don't see that. That's gonna be a tough change, man. 33 years old, this late in his career. I see if it was like when he first came out, make that move. Yeah, you could see it, fresh legs. Then they could have used him like New Orleans used Hill, could have did it that way. But right now, 33 years old, man, nah, bro. I don't think so.
I just don't look at him. I looked at him at Florida. When he was at Florida, I looked at him as a football player. When he came to the NFL, he changed my mind of him because when he went to New York, I think the underlying story that happened there was Rex wanted him to be a part of the offense in the way that people think that Urban would allow him to be part of the offense, and he basically said no to that. Okay, so at that point, to me, he was.
You say that part again. Say that last part again, Caleb.
So the theory is that Urban's going to use him in many different ways. Okay, And I felt like in college, Tebow was not a true quarterback, that he was just a football player. You see what I mean? So that went along with it. But when he got to the NFL and basically told him, look, I ain't playing nothing else but quarterback, then he lost that tag from me as being a football player. Now you feel like you can really play a position that you were never the best dude at your college playing. Because a lot of y'all forget Cam was there. Yeah, he was. Okay, and he won his first championship that everybody somehow get at him. With what's his name was there from North Carolina, MB.
Charles Leach.
Leach. Chris Leach.
Chris Leach. Yep.
Yeah, Chris Leach was the starting quarterback of the championship that everybody say Tebow won somehow, and Chris Leach threw all the balls. So Tebow just used to come in and do the jump pass and the fourth and short and the goal line plays. Okay, but when he was doing all that and Urban was using him like that, utilizing him, I said, man, it's a football player. When he got to the NFL and had an opportunity to be a football player, he decided not to. So now you coming back and saying, yes, I'm truly a football player. Man, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out
you
of
say
here.
That ship don't pass, huh?
Yeah, man, you ain't no football player. You a quarterback. Okay? So and they said you can't play quarterback in this league. Now you all of a sudden a tight end. MB, people talk like changing position. I mean, you just explained how tough it was for you to go from just being a rush linebacker on third down to having to play that true Sam linebacker and fight with tight ends and tackles.
Right.
Okay. Now you're going to tell me a dude that wore red jerseys every day, every day of his career, red jersey. Nobody could touch him ever. Now he going to be grimy every day? No. I'm telling y'all, that's a different lifestyle when you're playing quarterback. It ain't the same lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with everything you said. I think one with Urban, he's going to put him in the best position. If, he's going to give him every opportunity to try to get it done. But that's a hard transition, man. And like I said, I can see him using turning the clock and put him in those quarterback situations on goal line and short yardage, some tricky plays and all that stuff. Just like how New Orleans used Hill. But man, he's 33 years old, bro. Golly, I don't see that's a tough transition at that age,
Hey, and Darius say Tebow can't hate on a man for trying. I agree. Never thought Tebow was a quarterback or at least a very good one, but he was a baller and a motivation machine, and I think he was.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that. In Florida, he was definitely a huge locker room presence. He was a huge part of putting them on that run when they lost that game. He gave that speech.
Yeah. And he had a great college career.
Man, listen, in the NFL, nobody cares about any of that stuff. I'm just telling you. Like guys motivated to play because of two reasons. It's a guy behind them that's motivated as well. And then there's also a check that appears on his bench that he liked after every game. So those are the two reasons. We don't need Tebow. And then Eric Westbrook, he throwed it out there, MB. He said privilege. You can't help but go there because obviously Cap still ain't got a shot. And I know the years adding up, but it ain't even 8 for him yet, MB. So maybe at his 8th year they'll let him back in.
Yeah, if he play H-back.
No, he got to move out there to free safety or receiver. Well, hey, man, we appreciate y'all pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us because you know us, man. What, you want to read
that? No,
Okay.
you good. Keep going. I just clicked on it. Keep going.
From MB and K Lou sideline to baseline, fellas, we are gone.
Peace.